We're on.
Oh, we're on.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Shawnee P, aka Sean Valy, here with Chris and Josh. Josh, this is your first time, on the podcast. It's very early in the game. Just you can introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you up to? And that kind of stuff.
I appreciate it. My name is Josh Irizarry. I'm a photographer and videographer, content creator, as well as just somebody who cares about people and hope that I can inspire people to be better and inspire myself to keep growing. And I think that's kind of it.
Yeah.
I like to have fun.
Yeah.
I like to hang out with my
Yeah.
boys.
For sure. Yeah.
I love movies.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's been going on, man? How are you? How's things been going? Life, just in general.
Things have been going well. I have a few big jobs this year, and I'm going to be shooting a few weddings as well as a few job opportunities. Some that I can't really disclose right now because we're in the middle of negotiating, which is a blessing. I have a pretty good day job. I work for a tech company. Can't really disclose that, like the location, but they treat me pretty well. And yeah, I think the focus of 2022 has been personal development, really overall. Unfortunately, I did start the year, and fortunately, start the year off a little rough. I did get sick, so I was in quarantine. But instead of me kind of just sitting and watching TV and really just like numbing out, I took the time to kind of really self-reflect and think about like how I want to handle the rest of the year and like honestly just moving forward, like prioritizing what brings me as an individual the most joy and as well as like what I can kind of have in terms of a bigger impact like around me. Like I don't know, as of lately I've been like trying to just share that I've been in the gym as well as reading and just like anything I see positive. Like there's so much commotion, there's so much fear around us right now. Like unfortunately the world's climate is really like not only profiting off fear but also like just pumping it out.
Sure.
Obviously we're not going to get political, but it's just like kind of a general consensus. I feel like overall like people are walking very tired and drained, especially due to the overall shift from 2 years ago and like just the overall impact.
Yeah.
And I mean really though, like ultimately it starts with yourself. And I feel like there's a misconception with people like taking the time to better themselves. Like people may say it's selfish, but at the end of the day it really isn't. Like wouldn't you want to be around people that are giving you their best, whether it's them being more attentive or just them like putting their best foot forward?
Surrounding yourself by negativity all the time is no good for yourself. So what in the past few months or the past year or two, like what made you come to that conclusion of I want to start bettering myself, or from where you were at? I don't know where you were at that time, but what made you come to that conclusion that you were like, I want to start doing good for myself? What clicked? What made it click in your head?
I think that's a great question. I would say there's been a few pivotal moments. I definitely, I can say the pandemic itself, being in quarantine the first initial time, at that point prior to everybody being in lockdown, I was so burned out. I feel like I was biting off too much I can chew, and like granted I was doing certain things that like I had interest in, but a lot of it I was just kind of spreading myself out so thin. It was just like, hey, like do I really want to be doing the things I'm doing? And I kind of took a seat back, as a lot of people like did for themselves as well, which there was some positivity that came out of us being in lockdown.
Sure.
Was there was a lot of self-reflecting, and I just was like, hey, I'm tired of kind of wishing for things. And like at that time I actually previous to the pandemic or just the lockdown, I was supposed to have a internship at Disney as a photographer
in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no shit.
for people that do know me, I'm a huge Disney fanatic. It's not just like Mickey Mouse, it's beyond that. It's like the innovation, the technology that's involved, and just like overall like the theme of like if you have a vision, like anything is a reality. And I that's been a place that's been a huge inspiration for me, not only just to pick up a camera. My favorite park is Hollywood Studios. So from the name, it's based off like films and innovation and technology, even though Disney itself is that, but that specific park, especially movies. And as a kid, like it had such a large impact because there was a lot of like tours of like the back lot that had like sets of movies. They showed you a lot of the props that were used, and like I remember being like 6 or 7 years old, like totally invested. Like I don't know if you guys can relate, but if there's something that like you fondly remember as a kid, like maybe even Sean for like music, like whether it was a song or artist that really like resonated with you.
Yeah, it was essentially like us driving down the shore with our parents or something. Like something, music that we would hear growing up definitely is an example of that resonating.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's like I feel like a lot of people that like start really doing something they enjoy, they can relate to like one moment towards childhood or some
for
impact.
Sure.
So
there's something that had influenced you at that point in time for you to grow up and be like, I'm actually interested in this.
Yeah, for sure.
You might not know why at first, but then you figure it out. You're like, oh wait, it's because when I was younger, this happened, or so you're influenced from when you're younger.
Yeah, so absolutely. So I can relate to a lot of it to Disney, and then so I got the internship, and then unfortunately, it got terminated.
You got it in Disney?
I literally, so I was at home, and probably I would say a few days before we were officially on lockdown, I got the email saying that I got the internship, and I was ecstatic. It was going to be in my favorite park as a photographer, and like it seemed like the stars aligned. But unfortunately, sometimes life throws you curveballs, and the pandemic hit. But that might have been one of the best things that never happened.
Sure.
And
I feel the same way.
Which it took me a
situation.
Yeah, like it, and I would feel like it takes a lot of personal growth to like be able to reflect back and be like, I'm kind of glad that didn't happen because, I took the time. I ended up creating a website for my photography and videography portfolio.
LLC'd yourself.
And then I
that
officially started an LLC. So I started, JBI Imagery. And like for me, like I said, I've always been fascinated with movies and innovation, but like, as a creator, in essence, like you are a director in a way. Like you have a vision and you see it out, and like, which I can say that I'm very happy that I've been able to kind of take that on my own, and as well as be able to collaborate with some awesome people that I never thought I would have the chance to.
Sure.
And things that are in the work that are kind of like, I'm humbly saying are like beyond what I thought that I could take it. And, I have no idea what's going to happen moving forward, but like, I know it's going to be awesome because like, I'm just at this place of making it happen. Like,
you have a driven mindset right now.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of it also like is a healthy chip on my shoulder. So we went out to eat previous to this, and like, I was saying,
Applebee's, shout out Applebee's.
Yeah, for real. Sponsor Sean Valy, please.
Yes.
And maybe I can get some free food too.
We just want one meal a week sponsorship.
Yeah,
for at least 3 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's all.
The pre-podcast sponsorship.
Yeah, I'll get the Fiesta lime chicken. I'll eat healthy. Don't worry.
With rice.
Brought to you by Applebee's.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That like, listen, we keep putting this stuff out. Organic growth. Stranger things have been done. That's kind of where my head's at. But kind of what I was previously saying, like a healthy chip on your shoulder, which it might sound kind of counterintuitive, but in life we get hit with like adversities. We get hit in the mouth with like just life being life. But sometimes you kind of have to just like take that pain and that anger and like use it in a constructive way. So recently, even I'll give you an example. I kind of had like a learning day, I'll say, at work. Like it was pretty rough. Like I felt like I was just taking it in the chin and like nothing was in my favor all day. But
just one of them days.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's completely normal. But during it sucks. It's rough.
Yeah.
But
feel like going home, tucking back away.
Oh yeah, dude. You just want to shut out and just watch TV and just either that or just go to sleep like completely. But one thing that one of my mentors at work had kind of like sat me down, and he's like, hey, like I can definitely see that you're being proactive and not reactive. And that literally hit me so heavy. Like in life, you have 2 choices. You're either going to be pissed off, cry, and complain about it, and do absolutely nothing. Why me? Why God? Why is my life like this? Or you get angry and you start doing something about it. You're pissed? Okay, great. What are you going to do about bettering yourself or making your dreams a reality? Like, you're tired and angry, so am I. Everyone else is tired
A lot
too.
of
Like,
people are, yeah.
yeah, like, and listen, I'm not saying this to not take care of your mental health. No, that's a very important thing, and as I'm growing, I'm realizing that too. But at the same time, though, sometimes a healthy chip on your shoulder isn't necessarily so bad. I'm not saying for you to have resentment, but I'm telling you, like, if you're angry, use it in a constructive manner. Be, what do I say? Proactive, not reactional. You know.
What would you say for someone who who doesn't have the healthy chip on their shoulder and can't fall into that mindset? Like, for example, yesterday my TikTok I made, and I was reaching out and just seeing what people would say back or whatever. And for people who can't fall into that healthy, by themselves, right?
Yeah,
They
for
can't
sure.
get there by themselves. They need like a pick me up. They need a crutch to get there. What would you say is a way to maybe do that if you can't push yourself to do it? You know what I mean? Like, do you reach out? Do you ask? Do you socialize more? Like, what can you do when you're in that situation of just like self-doubt and all this kind of stuff?
Perfect. I'm glad he brought this up. So the days that I'm not like in that driven, like using that like fire, we're just going to use for a lack of a better, reference.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm really, really, really feeling low and I don't even have the energy to get mad or push myself. I was even telling this to Chris. So there's, and I'm not a doctor by any means, but like, your physiology starts changing when you start moving. Your physiology will start changing.
Like physically moving?
Yeah, when you start physically moving. So, like, for me, if I'm really, really, like, down and out,
Shit.
I start cleaning my room. That's the first win.
For
right?
sure. I agree. Right, Chris?
And it kind of, so Chris and I were on FaceTime and we were talking about it. So I'll
That's
get up.
first step.
Yeah, I just will, focus on, and I actually heard this from another podcast, which I love. Just sometimes, and you're really like so clouded and you feel so low, just focus on the step in front of you and literally just focus and just continue doing that. And it's the best thing to do. So my first step would be getting up, start cleaning, make your bed, make your environment feel better. And it really will start changing. And then from that point, I have a few places that will like kind of put me in a better mental state, whether it's the gym or I'll go to a place to either journal and write my thoughts, like kind of really organize my mind. Like, I feel like when we're at a place of like being low, we fixate a lot. So
Yeah, sure.
sometimes you just kind of have to like empty out your mind. So you start writing. It has helped, like, especially if you don't really have like a person to be able to vent to, like, and sometimes you don't really have the energy to even talk, which
Right.
is okay. Like,
Yeah.
and then, talk to yourself, connect back to yourself. Like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. How can I get myself to a better state? So you start writing, and then sometimes I'll just throw on a podcast or I'll read and kind of like get back to realigning. It's a lot of work, like, and you don't really feel like doing it, but like,
It might not happen in a day or two either. Like, it might be a project.
oh, it might be. It might take a while if you're really feeling low. And I at the same time too, like, if you have trusted people, talk to them. Like, you're not alone, and like, there's people around you that care about you, like 100%. Like, and
This almost feels like a podcast for Chris right now.
no, I mean it's
Yeah,
it's everybody. Like, the strongest, most motivated people go through shit. They literally
Right,
do.
like there's no one out there in the world
That's untouchable.
that's yeah, like all these famous people, they all have mental health issues. Look at Kanye.
Can I share?
Yeah, go
Here,
ahead.
here, let me pass the mic.
Hey everyone. So in relating to what we were just bringing up, like everyone goes through their own hardships. Every single person you've ever talked to or that you've seen on TV or on the internet all have problems. Whether it's a physical ailment or some sort of mental issue or something they haven't discovered about themselves yet, everyone literally has an issue. And for example, one good example of this, I was actually telling you about it the other night. I have always been to bring it back to current events, the new Jackass movie just came out. Jackass Forever.
Was it good?
It was. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really funny.
It was
It was great.
lots of dicks. Literally. Yeah. Literally. So
Didn't the dude's ball like explode or
dude,
something?
it's bad.
I saw that. I'm like, ah, fuck, dude.
No, it was just. I don't even want to spoil it, but it's
Yeah,
bad.
don't.
It's bad.
I'll check it out at some point.
It's bad. Pogo stick.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, yeah.
Jesus.
Sounds
hurtful.
Whatever. If you guys are familiar with the cast of Jackass, you'd be familiar with Steve-O. He's one of the most famous out of the cast.
Yeah.
He famously suffered with drug addiction for years of his life, and it was bad. Every day of his life, he was doing fucking cocaine. He was drinking in excess. He was doing snorting shit. He was doing pills. He was doing this, doing that. He couldn't even function as a normal person at all. And that was from like the 90s all the way up until when he got clean. I think it was in like 08 he got clean, or 09. But regardless, he had an intervention. Like Johnny Knoxville sat him down and they had an intervention, and then he went away to rehab and decided to clean up his life because he saw how it was impacting him. Anyways, long story short, I was just watching an interview with him on YouTube because they're promoting the new movie. And for years, I've always looked up at Steve-O and was like, man, that guy is so happy and, like, has such high spirits. Like, how could someone who had such issues and struggling with addiction and, like, they're fucking harming their brain and doing all this dumb shit to themselves, how can he be in such a great state? You know what I mean? Like, I've always wondered, like, does going sober really do that to your brain? Does it fully bounce back? Does it fully really heal? And so, I was watching this interview, and he said in the interview, in 2013, he ended up going to therapy because he was in a bad spot in his mind. He's been sober for a few years at that point, and he's a recovering addict, so he takes it very, very serious. And his therapist ended up saying, like, look, man, maybe you should try antidepressants for your anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve-O was against it at first. He's like, listen, like, I take my sobriety very serious. I don't do drugs.
Yeah, he thought that would be something you would like snort or something.
Yeah, I don't do alcohol. I don't do drugs. And the doctor said, listen, I'm a recovering addict as well, so we can relate to that. But I just want you to know that doing this doesn't mean that you're taking drugs.
Right.
This is a tool to help you live a more fulfilled life. So he's agreed to it, and he started taking Zoloft, which is one of the more famous antidepressants.
Mm-hmm.
And he said ever since then, it changed his whole life. It boosted his mood, and it helped his anxiety, and it just made him full power ahead. So the moral to this whole story, and he says, like, you know, when he's not on it, his mind's in a dark place, unfortunately. But, like, the moral to all of this is that it's about bringing it together and finding out what your value is, right? So, like, just because he's taking a drug to function doesn't mean that, like, he is, like, an addict or has a codependency. He's literally took his brain that he was abusing and turning into mush, and he flipped the script, and now he's taking care of his brain. Like, he takes, like, essentially it's like a vitamin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said he does meditation, he eats right, he works out, he goes for walks, he takes an antidepressant, and he's taking care of his mind and his body.
Yeah, so
and now he's better for it.
Right,
so,
right.
Relating to, everyone has problems, you look up to someone like him, a celebrity, because he has a platform to share his story to hopefully inspire other people.
Right.
So,
and that also goes back to what I just asked Josh.
So I'm going to hand it back to Josh.
Yeah, it goes back to what I just asked you, like, when you're in that situation, how can you cope? Do you reach out to someone? And essentially, Chris's word is there's also out there, you know, medication you can use when you're in a low spot, along with exercise, along with
I was just about to say, so, like, you know,
doing everything together to get onto a better track.
There's not, and like you were saying, there's not a magic pill and that'll just fix everything. Like, it's multiple things that'll help. So whether it's the medication, implementing meditation, reading, journaling, listening to good things like podcasts, and, like, just really what we feed our mind ends up really feeding back out to us and the world around us. Like, you know, we really take for granted, like, really our impact. Like, I mean by that, like, you get, hold on, I want to phrase this in the proper way, but Chris actually has a great analogy. He's like, like you're not gonna feed a plant gasoline because it'll kill it. You have to feed it water. So like you have to shout out to Chris for that one. That was a great one.
Oh yeah.
You have to like fuel your mind, and you have to like implement different things, and like it's hard as shit. But so is lying down and feeling extremely sad and down is hard as shit too. So you have to pick like your pain, essentially your poison.
Sure.
It's like, hey,
That's
like
a good point.
and like you were saying, it's gonna take a lot, and just focus on the step in front of you. But sooner or later, like wow, like I'm not where I was at, and you'll start having that accountability with yourself and start feeling a hell of a lot better. And like when you're in these ruts, it'll be a little bit easier to bounce back because you know what usually will work for you. Like it's a lot of self discovery and trying different things, but I'll kind of circle back. So Chris and I were just having a meal, catching up, and we give the analogy of like feeling kind of inadequate and comparing yourselves to other people. So the reference I gave him was you're catching up with old friends or people, and like they're sharing their accolades, and you start feeling a type of way, like why don't I have that job, or why don't I have that house or car or exposure on TikTok or Instagram, right?
Sure.
Because like that's a real reality now.
Yeah.
The best way for me to say it like is what's good for them and what's good for you is completely different. Like, and sometimes it's just a simple thing like that, but like what if their job that they have didn't serve you best? Like imagine if you were in their shoes and like you were completely terrible at that job, or say if it didn't make you feel the way it does for them. Like, and really breaking it down.
Yeah,
like that.
you can't just because like we were talking at lunch about like the whole friend thing, and like you go hang out with friends and like you're just not on that page anymore. But you're not on that page. You're on that page because you're in different lanes, but it doesn't mean that what they're doing is wrong in any way or how they go about doing it. It just means that they're in their life, they're just at a different level, whether it's bad, good, happy, sad. Like you're just everyone's in their own lane, so it's just like
their story.
It fits their story. It fits their agenda at the time. You know what I mean? Like there's never a wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean?
I completely agree.
There's only things you don't fit into anymore. You know?
Exactly. Like like certain things will be similar. Like sometimes in life you do go in a collaborative space and you figure out what's good for us, like whether it's business, relationships, family, all that. But like from an individualistic standpoint, like you should think like, hey, like what they're doing doesn't necessarily fit my needs and my wants and my aspirations, and like that's perfectly fine, but it doesn't make you inadequate or less than. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just something to be conscious of when you kind of start slipping into that mindset. And everybody does. Like the most like well-off people, there's always going to be some. J. Cole even says it. There's always going to be someone that has a bigger whip or better whip, bigger house, more money. That happens. But like, I was going to circle it back to your saying, like you were saying earlier, when you're feeling low, like how can you get up when you don't have that chip on your shoulder? Is gratitude. Like being grateful for what you have. You don't realize like the power within that when you start really stacking those things. For instance, like you'll have a warm bed at night. Like simple as that. Or like, oh my gosh, I have clean water. Like I'm not telling you to compare, but I'm saying like those things like go a long way. Of like, oh my gosh, like I have a good family, or I have friends that like I can trust, or like at least like even though my job isn't the best, I have income coming in. You know what I mean? And you start like reflecting on that way, you'll feel better. Like you know what I mean? And like because you start replacing the fixation on the negative.
Sure.
You start
a lot of quotes right now coming from
dude.
Josh.
I'm just
this title, gratitude.
It goes a long way. But and for those that don't want to write full novels on gratitude, pick 3 things you're grateful for a day. That's it. Like even
some daily affirmations and stuff, like as simple as that.
Even on my hardest days, I will still be grateful either for a hot meal, a good coffee I had, or just like I'm glad my favorite song popped on when I was driving home or to work. Like I try to find something.
I always like a good shower.
Oh,
Like
oh
good,
my gosh.
a good wash.
Especially
You know what I
after
mean?
a very grueling day,
Yeah.
a hot shower goes a long way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like you can
Hot
sit
shower
there.
and a bed, essentially.
Yeah. Like, and some people don't even have that. Like, and just be like, hey, like, at least like I can kind of end the night and just be at peace and
decompress
recharge.
a little bit, figure it out
Yeah, for
tomorrow.
sure. And and if you need to like learn from the day, you can always go back and reflect. But there was a good quote from from Steve Jobs, and the quote said, "You can never connect the dots looking forward," which I loved. You can only connect the dots looking back. So
Whoa.
everything. Yeah. So I just
Whoa.
let me repeat that one more time.
Steve Jobs, R.I.P.
Steve
man.
Jobs. So you can
Fuck.
never connect the dots looking forward, only looking back. So everything you've gone through was for a purpose, no matter how grueling. It could be your life story. You can impact people in a positive way. You never know. So even for the hardships, you got to be grateful for them. Like, they make you who you are. They make you more resilient. They make you even more valuable. Like, you can build a whole platform on being able to help people. You don't realize. Like, so in those hard moments too, gotta be grateful. Like, I'm so glad I got through it. That was hard as hell, but I'm still breathing. I still have a purpose.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take a little quick break.
Sure. Yeah.
Allow the camera to kind of cool off for a minute.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be back in a sec.
Welcome back to the podcast. No, I'm just.
Wait, I want you to do the McGregor thing.
He goes, fuck the Mayweathers. Mark my fucking words and knock him out in 3 rounds. Floyd, you're old.
Dude, that's amazing.
It's
Where'd you learn to do that?
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
I
That's like me trying to be Australian when I'm like, hey, mate.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. Like,
Hello,
that's
mate.
the easy one,
No,
though.
you know who's the king at these impersonations? His name is Joe Gucci.
Joe Gucci's a good one.
Shout out Joe Gucci.
That guy, he's brilliant. No, one I like to practice is fucking Thomas Shelby. Welcome to the Peaky fucking Blinders. I don't know. It's a work in progress, you know? You just
Dude, no. That's like you better start voice acting, dude. Like I can't just go into some Irish accent like that. That's pretty intense.
I don't look Irish, but I like to have fun.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just it's practice. And especially Mayweather. He extends his words. He starts walking with his big fucking gorilla on his chest, like, I'm the king of the fucking world. Fuck the Mayweathers, knock them out in 3 rounds. Just have fun with it. But yeah, I don't know, man.
That's some shit, man.
I don't know.
That's gonna be the highlight on the video that I posted.
Just start
to
talking
Instagram.
like McGregor. Nah, it's honest fun,
Nah, that's good, man.
Let me try it.
You want to try the Mayweather accent? No, I mean
You want
McGregor.
I knock him out in 3 rounds.
I knock him out in 3 rounds.
It's the
I'm
tree.
gonna to 3 rounds. Fucking McGregor. Fucking McGregor. I can't. Now I'm fucking slurring.
That's
I don't
good,
know.
Josh.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It's just fun. You want to try the accent?
I mean, I'll try a accent.
Hey, okay. Hey. Hey.
Oh, that's Canadian.
Hey. Canadian, eh?
Well,
Let's get it 2-4, eh?
Hey.
Canadians all American until they're O's and A's.
Get out of my room.
Get out of my room, eh?
Get out of my room.
Let's get it 2-4, eh?
Yeah.
Still doing the
Get
Irish.
out of my room.
Get out of my room.
Get out of my room. Then we're
Wait,
getting into the
let me
like
try
Eastern.
Australia.
This is the fun.
Yeah,
Oh, here's my Boston. Dell, get in the car.
yeah. Boston's good. Boston's good.
Hey, you ever seen the fucking town? I don't know how they sound, but
It sounds like you're Irish still.
I'm still stuck on the Irish.
Get out of my town.
Get out of my fucking town.
I guess I just gotta run back Euro Trip when they're on the bus.
Oh my god.
Have you seen that movie, Josh?
No, I've seen like the
In
American
recent time?
Pies.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, you never seen Euro Trip though?
I don't know, man. Maybe. Like I've seen a lot of those comedies. They're good, bro.
Ah,
Here.
bro.
Let me tell
All
you.
right, they're gonna go ahead.
Let me just tell you quickly.
We just gotta come down on you real
Yeah.
quick. Like, dog, what?
Eurotrip is an early 2000s teen movie similar to American Pie.
I know.
You know about it?
I'm not. I don't live under a rock.
Tonight you watch.
Tonight
Euro
you
Trip.
watch it. After you read your
What's
book,
her
of
name in
course.
it? Mika.
Yeah.
She emails the dude.
Get your hand off my genitals.
She emailed their what are they called? Postmates or what's it called,
Yeah,
Chris?
I don't know. They're just email friends, and
No, like when the girl travels overseas to live with you, or the person when you take someone in from overseas.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Oh, isn't it like a foreign exchange?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right,
They're
we're
like
getting somewhere. We're
yeah,
getting
they're
somewhere,
going back and
folks.
forth about like a foreign exchange thing. And the dude, he thinks he's talking to a dude the whole time. Like he's like,
But
yeah,
it's
this
a-
dude.
Oh,
And
was
his
it like a web chat? or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. And his
Okay.
little brother comes on and he's like, "What are you, an idiot, dude?" Because he's like, "Yeah, I've been talking to Michael or whatever." He's like, the little brother's like 6 years old. He's like, "What are you, an idiot, dude? It's Mika. It's a girl." And he's like, "What?"
Common German girl name equal to our Michelle.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's
Dude,
pretty
it's
cool.
a solid fucking movie.
Dude,
it's hilarious.
I love those those raunchy comedies. They're
It's
they're-
the early 2000s era, dude, with
they're
the
not
American
they're not even
Pies.
like a guilty pleasure. They're just like every once in a while you gotta throw it on and just feel good and just
They're hilarious.
laugh.
Dude, I just threw
like,
on
even when we saw Jackass, it was just funny. Like it was just like, I mean,
I threw on Road Trip the other day. Remember that one? It
Yeah,
was
I-
essentially Euro Trip, but like American.
I threw on American Pie Reunion.
It's the
'cause it
dude
was just
from
funny.
American Pie. What that dude that ended up?
Stifler.
Yeah, his career went
Dude,
down south.
he
or
actually
something.
he was in a movie called Goon where he was like a hockey player. It was actually pretty decent. I mean, not according to Rotten Tomatoes, decent, but
Yeah, but it was like a more serious act of him.
oh
or
yeah,
something.
dude, like he was like he wanted to be a professional hockey player, but all he was good at was fighting. Like
is that on Flicks or anything?
it was for a
Okay.
point in time.
They probably took
Dude,
it off.
I have beef with Netflix. Hold on, let me spit some
Spit some shit.
facts.
Yo, Netflix, you better listen up, son.
Prices every month.
Well,
Okay.
I saw the bill. Now it's $20 a month.
besides
Yeah, it came to
Wow.
my email and Dan's paying
Oof.
for it.
besides the
Sorry, Dad.
besides the economical version of it. Okay, I mean $20 is steep. HBO's at 15, right? Their content's better too.
Here, Chris, get on it for a sec.
All right, so listen, like
Right when HBO goes up, I'm canceling
Netflix, my beef with you, bro. Yeah, my beef, bro. No, they took the show How I Met Your Mother, which I really loved. One of my favorite sitcoms ever. The references are incredible.
Right.
But like, dude, they took off The Office, my guy.
Did they?
They took
After
off.
all that shit last year when everyone
They
thought it was going to
took
be
off-
removed and they're like, it's not going anywhere?
They took off The Office.
Do you want to know my philosophy?
Which is terrible.
Netflix will be the first streaming service to go under and to go
Well,
bankrupt.
well,
Because it started streaming, it pioneered it, it innovated, and they knew everyone would soon after copy, which they all did. So now every network or every big conglomerate in Hollywood has their own streaming service, so they're pulling all of their original content and putting it on their own services, which will lead Netflix in the near future to only have original content.
I concur.
But their original content fucking sucks most of the time.
Dude, listen, like it's gonna be a BlackBerry situation. How BlackBerry had a strong arm on the tech company, right?
Yeah.
And everyone that and Razer, but mostly BlackBerry. BlackBerry was the business. So Sean, to recap you, we were saying how Netflix is probably gonna be the first one to go down under, like in terms of streaming platforms. I was saying they're like BlackBerry back in the day, and an iPhone came in and kicked everyone's ass, dude.
Yeah. To this day.
Yeah, which is crazy because they've probably had one of the most dominant tech runs. I want to say like ever at this point. Like they're going like and obviously
It's been 14, 15 years now
consecutively.
and they're still dominating. That's unheard of in tech.
Even if some of the previous generations may have been underwhelming, not all of them, but they're still running, bro. Like
yeah.
I it's like funny because I'm not like a massive sports guy, but then like when I see these things, I think of like Jordan and Kobe and people that like just the greats in life where they have just the longevity and like, dude, man, like Apple, they kick ass, man. I gotta
Yeah.
give them credit where it's due, but
But here I'm gonna
But
I'm gonna turn
Netflix-
this one back to Shawnee P.
Netflix bring back Office and How I Met Your Mother. Well, actually, you know what? No, don't even bring that back. Peacock got it for I think they have it for free.
Well, sometimes they bring it back. Like they had taken some of my favorite movies off there. Like Into the Wild was off of there for a while. If you
That
ever
was a
seen
good one.
that,
Yeah. Oh my dude, that movie.
movie's an amazing movie.
So
Sad.
that's a heavy one, bro.
Makes you want to run away, and then you're like, but if I
He-
eat the wrong
here.
berries, I might not make it.
Can I give you a suggestion for a movie that'll make you want to completely change your life, but towards a positive?
Sure.
It's called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, with Steve Carell.
No.
Wait, what am I thinking of with
Ben
Steve Carell?
Stiller, my guy.
Oh, it was Ben Stiller. Okay. What was the Steve Carell? Nah, he didn't have one like that. It was Ben
He's
Stiller.
had some serious dramatical roles, but I'm talking like Ben Stiller crushed this movie.
I remember that
Quick-
movie.
quick
He's
synopsis.
with that European chick, right? Like she has like that, or the British chick, whatever she is.
She has an accent, eh?
She has an accent, and like the world's
short,
ending or
short
something.
Synopsis.
Or is that a different movie?
So, okay, Roddy, you're getting pieces from like the
I'm
trailer.
like taking multiple things. I
It's
think.
okay. Let me
Alright,
give you a
go
little
ahead.
quick elevator pitch, right? So Ben Stiller, he is a editor for the New York. I believe it wasn't New York Times. It was a publication. I forgot which one it was. I think it was Life magazine, if I'm not mistaken. So he's an editor for him, right? And basically, he's working with this photographer. He has been for years. The photographer only works with him, sends him the pictures, and those are the photos. They're for Life magazine, right? I believe, or at least a magazine publication, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So short version, they were going under, right? They were about to publish their last magazine, and the photographer sent the whole he sent him the whole portfolio, I guess, for the potential images, except one. It was missing an image, and Ben Stiller's like, what the hell, you're missing an image? Like, you never miss an image. Like, I've been working for 25 plus years, you never miss an image. So it causes Ben Stiller to basically go and get out of his comfort zone and find this photographer halfway across the world. He doesn't know how he's going to do it, but he's so hell-bent. And literally this journey completely changes himself. Like, it allows him to be more adventurous, open up his world, and realize that he has so much value. Like, he has been basically like not giving himself credit. And really what it ends up turning out was a photographer. Sorry, spoiler a little bit. He did it intentionally to get Ben Stiller out of his comfort zone. So seek discomfort.
Seek discomfort. Isn't that one of your tattoos or something?
No, that is not mine. That was from Yes Theory, and it was actually Joe Neal's tattoo. So shout out to Joe Gucci again. Yeah, seek discomfort. That's a very it's an important quote. I mean,
Sure.
in life, the best things really come out of when you're just seeking discomfort. I have no other way to say it.
Yeah, like the longer you
The
sit
leap of
in
faith.
comfort, the longer you ain't gonna excel.
It's just you're not
Right.
progressing forward. So my favorite quote in life is failing forward. Failure is
That was yours.
That's
That
my
was the
quote.
one. Yeah.
So failing forward or failure.
that's
forward,
like
yeah.
your
That's like
line. Like
that is like my life
live by
line.
that,
Yeah, this is my creed, I guess you could say, right? So failure is inevitable in life. You're gonna suck. It's gonna happen. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fuck up. It's just bound to happen, right? But my only recommendation, and obviously this is a self thing that I practice. If I'm gonna fail, as long as it's in the right direction, then I'm at a good place. So if you're sending your job resume towards a job that you might not even feel qualified, you shot your shot. If it's talking to that girl or that boy that you have interest in, shoot that shot.
sure.
Like, deal with, and this now shout out to the Rust book, which actually changed my life in 2020. That was the first book I really read, like not bullshit read, like we usually do.
Went through it.
Yeah, dude, I've gone through this book multiple times. My biggest takeaway from that: deal with the oh well versus the what if. And I've said this before. Like I'm pretty sure I said it on a podcast, but I live by that. Like, I rather deal with the oh well, it didn't work out in my favor, but I learned from it versus, oh, what if I applied for that job, or what if I moved away, or what if I decided to DM this business or this person, right? Just deal with the, oh, well, it didn't work out. Like, versus the weight of what if. That will literally eat you alive. Like, and it sucks because sometimes in life we don't even get those opportunities back. So shoot that shot. Like, don't dwell on it anymore because there's no point. You can't change the past. But the only thing you can learn from it is shoot your shot. I'm going to say that 100 times.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, it's worth taking the opportunity, deal with the oh well versus the what if.
Yeah.
It's just, it's
Yeah.
real. It's
Because you'll get through the well.
Yeah,
But you won't.
absolutely.
But you won't get through the idea that you never gave yourself the chance to do it.
100%.
Right?
Like, okay, let's deal with a what if. What if you never decided to record music? The trajectory of your life would be utterly different.
Oh my God, it'd be so different. But it might not be. I might be in the same place I am now, but without a bunch of cool albums.
And as well as
You know
the
what I mean?
passion behind it. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you've met a lot of interesting people through music, and as well as
For
like,
sure. I met some of my best friends, Kane, Shane.
so imagine
You know what I mean?
your life like without having
Just
that
name
first
a few.
initial step. You know, like for me, if I never picked up a camera, I would have never really met Chris because I would have never
You
followed.
would have never
that.
taken them classes or whatever.
Go ahead. I'm gonna pass off the mic.
It's the concept. It's what we were talking about with that guy the other night. It's the concept of serendipity. It's that things happen randomly, but it's all meant for a bigger purpose.
100%.
Like, for instance, if you never started doing your music, I would have never picked up a camera to videotape you, which means I would have never took film classes and met Josh,
Right.
and we wouldn't.
Which
be
is
here.
crazy to think about.
We wouldn't be.
It
here
all
having-
started from me.
we wouldn't be here having this conversation, and Josh can say the same thing in his.
Nah,
shoes.
it's true. 100%. It's the butterfly effect. And I was thinking the other day about.
serendipity.
I was thinking about that the other day.
That's awesome.
I was thinking about the job interview I had last week at this metal and steel place. And I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I was like, I wonder if like I made an impact on like existence in general just by me putting myself in that job interview that day. Like I wonder if because I did that job interview, that guy who interviewed me went back to the boss and the boss had to think and the boss thought different, and then the boss went home and had to think and his wife asked him something or her husband and his mind was thinking about something at work and it changed the whole existence of life just because I went to an interview that day.
Your impact literally matters.
Like no matter what, it always keeps going. No
Uh-huh.
matter what you do, it will bounce because it'll be in someone's mind and it'll change their perspective of their mind, which will change their mood of the day, which will change the way they react to their people that they interact with, which will change their people, and it'll just keep going, which is fucked up.
It's
crazy.
insane. Like
We're all connected.
100%.
Our energies all bounce off of each other and keep going.
So that's okay. So
It's like how our
energy,
vocals are
right?
still going in space, or our sound waves are constantly shooting into space.
I'm only choosing from this point on to try to put out external positive energy towards people.
Mm.
Just like you, Josh. Like someone does something good. Like yesterday when we went to Chipotle, I was gonna compliment the lady and say you made a great bowl. Like
I almost told her she was beautiful.
she was such a happy, bubbly girl.
She
but, like,
was.
saying compliments like that goes a long way.
Oh, 100%. With
That
my
butterfly. effect.
conscious behavior, I'm trying to be more present. Like even when like I have 100 different things going on in my mind, like just trying to be presently here, like being more focused in the moment. And with that is also acts of kindness. Like whether it's a small compliment, hey, like I really like your jacket or your shoes. You don't realize like that person could have been reflecting on that the remainder of the day. Like, oh my God, like, you know, this jacket like got me a compliment today, or just simply
Yeah.
opening a door, like, which honestly most people just don't really do anymore. Like
Yeah.
that stuff's kind of dying because everyone's in their own bubble, in their
Yeah.
own realm of like feeling upset or
Yeah.
focusing on negativity. Like even if you're having a shitty day, try your best to still remain being a good person and like emulating some positivity, because in a way it's a selfish transaction because you're going to feel better anyway. So like, why not? It's a winning situation for both parties. Not only did I open the door for you or gave you a compliment, but I feel better that I
Yeah.
put that out there,
Yeah.
you know?
Maybe when you're having a shitty day and like you don't know what to do, maybe you should just go do something for someone else, right? Like maybe you should go to
I
this
think so.
maybe
yeah,
you
I
should go
agree.
to the store and just open the door and just stand there for like 10 minutes and like let old people walk in and out, and you might be like, well, at least I held the door for some old people today. That's just a random example.
oh yeah, like
if you're feeling down and like you're like, well, life sucks. Well, maybe go do something positive
the
that
other
will
day.
affect someone, and their butterfly effect will affect the world in a positive way too.
Oh, 100%. So the other day, I was kind of having a rough morning. I just felt very unmotivated. I didn't want to go to my day job, and I also didn't want to deal with the commitments after work. And as most people, they go through that. We're human, of course. Even the most motivated people are very human. It's okay. But I decided to go get myself a coffee, kind of pick me up, and it was so early in the morning, there was no one behind me. So I actually, when I was ordering, I said, "Can I pay for the person in front of me?" And they were like,
No shit, you paid it forward.
"Yeah,
Nice.
yeah." I paid it for a couple in a car in front of me, and honestly, I saw.
That's all you gotta do, Chris. Pay
I
it
saw.
forward
I saw the. I guess
when you're in the drive-thru.
I don't know if it was a couple or just a guy and a girl, but I saw the girl driving, literally jumping ecstatically, like, "Oh my god!" Like you could tell from her body language, and I was like, so happy that like it felt good. And I'm not gonna lie, it really did set the precedent of my day.
Yeah.
I went to work a little bit happier. Also, caffeine helps sometimes,
sure.
just to pick me up. But
yeah.
a nice cup of coffee and doing something good for someone, I kind of went back into work with a better headspace.
That's awesome, man.
Versus if I just went there straight being upset, like
just in a mood or whatever. It's just like you picked someone else up, which made you feel better.
Yeah, 100%. So like, yes, it's a selfish transaction, but it's not bad selfish. It's great. Like, you're helping and you're doing an act of service for someone, and you feel great about it. Like, and I'm not saying going and filming yourself doing something to make your PR.
Yeah, right.
Because that's bullshit.
This is about like even walking, like for example with Dan or John or the guys who work in the city, like walking down at 5 a.m. and they might toss $1 to a bum or something in good spirits.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like
something that's like
somebody.
maybe that will help that person. You know what I mean?
100% agree. Yeah,
that's just another example, but there's tons of them. Like whether it's buying someone food at a drive-thru or giving money to a bum that you trust in him not using it or her not using it for drugs,
or even sometimes just treating your friends to like, hey, like
I got it.
Yeah, like. Even if sometimes you may not have it, like, and I'm not saying put yourself in financial debt, but I'm saying, like, just do something kind. Like, it really will, like, I guess, really, an overall, like, I would say, theme of the podcast is, like, sometimes the most simple thing will go a long way.
Yeah.
Gratitude. Doing something kind. Like, being able to joke with your friends, but just positive things. Like,
facts.
There's too much fear and too much chaos going on. Like, start kind of going back to the basics that go a long way.
Let loose, be a good person, right? And
doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost anything. Chris, you had that one moment, that one time on 4th of July with the lady.
You want the mic, buddy? Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, so
and that made you feel good.
Yeah,
that
it was
day.
4th of July 2000 and what?
19.
It was 19, yeah.
Was it 19?
Yeah, it was before the pandemic. It's getting scary.
You're good, Josh.
Yeah,
I probably shook it before I gave it to you.
There's this old lady. We were at our local parade in Southampton, and the parade ended, and we were walking back to our car, and there was this old lady. She was kind of confused. She didn't really know where her family was at, and she was just like having trouble walking, kind of. Yeah. So she came up to me and Sean and was like, "I don't know where my family is. I need help getting down to my car because
God,
like
that must be so scary."
Yeah. There's this parking lot, and it's like over here, but like on.
And we don't even know either because we don't know if she's delusional or like. Is this even her car that we might be walking her to?
It kind of made a lot of people turn their eyes and worry because
everyone was
like,
everyone was walking by,
yeah,
and I'm like, Chris, go hop on this opportunity
people
to be a good person.
That, like we
which he did on his own.
We
I think I told him to do it.
Yeah. I think
it was kind of like an agreement, like let's go help this lady, dude.
Yeah,
it's kind of funky that she's like lost, and it's 4th of July. The parade just ended. Like there's a heat stroke going on. You know what I mean?
Like a lot of commotion going on.
But
so what ended up happening was like she put her arm around my arm, and I walked her down a hill because like the way it goes is the street is here and the parking lot is here, and it's down a little grass hill.
Yeah, of course.
So I walked her down the hill, and people turned their heads, and some people were like, I think one lady told me after I did that, like, I'm happy you just did that, or whatever. Like, someone acknowledged that I did something for that woman. She actually ended up finding her family. Her family was down in the parking lot, but yeah, we helped her get down the hill, and it was a good deed. So that's that.
No, yeah. I'm glad that you were able to do that, because like, and relating that to a personal experience, rest in peace, my grandfather. But a few years ago, as later in life, he was driving, and he just drove until he got lost, and like, he went towards like a easy pass toll, whatever, and like, he was just confused, and a cop ended up like helping him, and kind of like was able to like contact my mom. But like, it's just like somebody stepping in to like be able to help, like not just let the problem continue going on. Like, I'm not saying put yourself in dangerous situations, because like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not telling you to run into a building, but like, if there's something that you can do, like, I feel like you kind of like
within your within reason.
your power, and like within your
Yeah.
reason to do
Yeah.
it. Like, I think it's like kind of a moral obligation, at least, or try to, like, I don't know. The world has just kind of gotten bitter, and like, it's better sometimes to just kind of lead by example, and like just try to just overall be a better person and individual. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was a great, sharing that.
So to bring it back around to what we talked about in Act 1, it's a good thing, Josh. Everything happens for a reason. It's a good thing that you didn't go to Disney.
Whoa.
And, yeah.
That does bring it back to round one.
Yeah. And the reason why is
Does
because...
this have to do with Act 2 of the butterfly effect, or?
No, it's just what we were talking about. We can. But
Just wondering.
our mutual friend, Katie, ended up taking that internship at Disney, and I was talking to her kind of about it briefly the other day, because I work with her, and I was like, so did working at Disney kind of ruin the experience?
She went to Florida?
Yeah, she took the internship
She got the internship.
that Josh was going to get. Shit, my bad.
No, we're good. We're chalking it up here.
Chalk it up for a minute.
No, she got the internship that I was supposed to get, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know what role, because there was a bunch. There was
Yeah.
like one where you were like a custodian.
Yeah,
and,
she
and
did.
things like
I
that.
forget what role. It was something, but I said, well, how was it? She said, honestly, it was tough. Like, she wasn't making good money. She was
Yeah, I heard
making
that too.
just enough to live, like, in terms of, like, her rent. And then after her rent and her car payment, she had, like, $50 a week for, like, everything else, like groceries and shit. And then that'd be it. So it was really tough. She wasn't
rough.
making the best money. And I said, well, working at the parks, like, did that ruin the parks for you? She said, kind of. Or I said, did that, like, ruin the movies and, like, the experience and, like, the nostalgia of Disney? She said, kind of. Because I'd hear the same music every day. I'd see the same fucking things every day. And, like, it just, like, took the magic out of it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like,
so maybe it's
unless
a blessing in disguise for you, because you don't want that magic to disappear. Because then...
Oh, I agree. Sometimes they're like, it's like if you were gonna eat the same exact meal that you love and adore, you'll eventually resent it. Like, it's good to miss things. It's good to not have something
Right.
every single day.
Right.
I mean, really, unless it's like your passion above anything in this world, even then, like, it's good to sometimes take a little bit of time off. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can look at pro athletes. They have off seasons. Like, there's legitimate musicians. Like, they have breaks between albums and projects. I know Sean can vouch for that one too. But it's like, hey, like, you can love something, and I still encourage you to work on things you enjoy, but like, don't go so hard. Every once in a while, just you can take it a little bit easy, and still continually doing it. But yeah, for Disney, and to see it like every single day, I'm sure it takes away some of the magic, or like, no pun intended. But like, yeah,
Shit.
But
yeah. So I'll hand that one back to you.
Shawnee P, would you like this mic?
We can move forward.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, full circle. It was it was 100% a blessing in disguise. I utilized the time to do something else, and I made something for myself, not for a conglomerate. I mean, granted, as much as I like that conglomerate, it would have not really propelled me forward like me doing it on my own did. You know, taught me a lot of important life
Yeah, like
lessons.
you wouldn't have got to the point of you starting an LLC. You probably would have just. I mean, it could have been. You never know. Like you could have done that for a while and then done it for 6 months and been like, this ain't for me. Then started it, but it's the way things happened, the
It
way they
accelerated
did, is why you are where you're at now. You know,
I'm glad it did.
Shooting the shit, you know, doing your weddings, doing freelance photography for people, and
Yeah, for sure.
you know, maybe that wouldn't have happened if you had gone.
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
time.
I've been,
But-
able to be a content creator for people and enjoy it
Yeah.
a lot more
Yeah,
because it's really on my terms, you know.
but there's always the thing in my head, like, what if I did go? Is that like a wrong thought to have? Like, what if I did go and it worked out even better than it is now? Is that like a sketchy thought to have?
I wouldn't say sketchy. I would say it's just a human thought. Like everybody will reminisce, but
the what if, by the way.
That's the what if
that is the
thought.
what if. Yeah, of course. But you know, okay, so I guess I'm glad that we're kind of being devil's advocate, right?
You have to be.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's good to be analytical about it,
See
but
it from all sides.
at the same time, though, like for me, I just know that like it didn't happen for a reason. I just feel like it. Like
It's what you believe in. I guess.
yeah, I think like maybe it's just I'm so
That's
like
what it is.
stuck on that belief of saying, hey, like I just have to trust it happened. Like it happened the way it was supposed to. And maybe that's just who I am. But no, yes, of course, I'm human like everybody else. Like go back and I think I'm like, what would have been the trajectory of my life if I had went away to a different school or went away you know what I mean? Like different life choices. But I personally at least feel like for me, I've developed better in the way that I did now because despite it being like a decision that didn't happen, like I didn't get the internship, I still took the situation in my own hands. I can happily say, you know, I didn't allow like life to stick its middle finger and say, haha, like you didn't get what you want. I said, all right, screw you. Then I'm going to do something else then that I want. You know what I mean? Like, it punched me in the mouth. Well, I punched life back. Like I was like, no, I'm gonna live it. In the words of the great Frank Sinatra, my favorite song, "My Way." Like he talks about how he literally lived life his way. Even though he in the song he said, I may have bit off too much I could have chewed. That happens.
Yeah.
But at least like he still stuck his guns, and like it's why I respect like you know Sinatra. Crazy people like Kanye. I love Kanye West. He's such a controversial figure, but it's awesome. But one good takeaway is like he's adamant when he makes a definitive choice. He doesn't really deviate. Like, and a lot of the people that have gone far in life, like they're misunderstood because they're like, hey, like I made a decision, I'm gonna stay to it. Like, and when life, you know, deals them lemons while you make lemonade. Is that the saying? Yeah, I know, corny, right?
Like that.
But really, the moral of it is like you kind of take life in your own hands. Like situations happen. Well, what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna sit there and complain, or you're gonna figure out either a better, or maybe not necessarily better in that moment. I don't know. I'm not trying to backtrack. Give me a second, guys. Anyway, when life hits you, you have to make a choice. That's the short version. You make a choice. I'm gonna give it to Chris because he has something.
It's do or die, my friends.
Burn the boats.
It's do or die.
Burn the boats.
When life hits you in the gut and you get knocked on your ass, you can either cry about it and be depressed and be miserable and feel bad for yourself and go die in a hole, or you can pick yourself up, or with the help of friends and family, everyone can pick you up
with some crutches.
With some crutches, and you.
But with crutches, you eventually learn to walk again.
Wow.
Right.
That was pretty fucking deep.
I just thought of crutches and a broken leg, and I'm like, eventually.
That's super valid.
That is true. Like, if your leg is broken, you can walk on some crutches for a little while. You have a cast for a little while, and it eventually heals your bones to the point where you can walk on your own again.
Agreed.
It's a great metaphor. Sean, that's your metaphor, dude. Mine's the plant.
I'm cool with that.
Yours is
I'm
the
about
crutches.
I'm cool with pressing that on a shirt.
Yeah, with crutches you can walk again.
Yeah.
It is, dude. It has resonance. But the whole point is, like, you it's do or die, and it comes down to that crunch where it's like you make a life decision. Like I wither in my wallow, or what's it called? I wallow in my
It's something about wallowing.
yeah, I wallow in my self-pity. That's what it is. Or I get up and I say, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck these fucking people who made me feel upset about myself or my life.
Chip on your shoulder.
Yeah,
I
I
Healthy
need
chip,
to I need to
Put the
change
chip on.
myself. Not just like, oh, change my body, but I need to change my outlook. I need to change the way I think, you know, my thought patterns, you know, my perspective. But yeah, change my body. Build some confidence, Josh.
Get your ass in the gym. That's all I gotta say.
Get your ass in the gym, boys.
Yes, if you have and
I tell Sean every day.
if you're blessed and physically able to, I strongly
For
encourage.
sure. Yeah.
You know what I was saying
You
about
have
your
the phys-
physiology.
yeah.
It changes. Like it releases obviously, you know, dopamine and as well as endorphins. Like the dopamine, it comes from the progression. The endorphins comes from moving. Like and you know, even yeah, of course. Like when I even suggested like moving and cleaning, like that you're moving, it's changing your physiology. Like it's so important. Like our brains are very chemical. Obviously I'm not a doctor or physician, but you know there's a lot of legitimate research behind it. So like do something about it. You're either gonna lay there and complain or you're gonna get your ass moving and create.
Figure it out. Find your crutch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Figure it out. Whatever your crutch is, use it. But also use your other resources while you're using your crutch to get to.
It's multiple
to get
things
to
like you were saying.
It's a combination.
There's not a one all be all. There's not a magic pill you can pop and life will be. You know, you go ahead. I'm gonna pass it off.
Well, if you want to complete your thought, you can. I don't know. I was just gonna add to the here. I'll just add to it.
Add to it.
Just like how if you are on the negative side of life and it's like, oh, my car broke down, I lost my job, my girlfriend just fucked another guy.
Sheesh.
No, like realistically, like if you're a person struggling with like alcohol dependency and like you're not making enough money at your job and you're not having job satisfaction and you're feeling it and it's all starting to add up, right? All the negative different aspects from your life in different areas of your life are all adding up, and it's promoting this mindset that you have where you're like, oh fuck, blah blah blah, I feel so bad about my life, I feel like shit, I feel like a loser, I physically feel depressed, I have a knot in my stomach because A, B, C, and D is adding up to make me feel like that. Well, just like how it's so easy for all these negative things to add up and shape your thoughts and shape your perspective and make you feel physically fucking ill about yourself and about your situation, the same can be true about the complete opposite with positivity.
100%.
If you're actively going to the gym, you're actively meditating, you're actively socializing weekly with friends, you're actively reading, you're actively working on yourself, you're actively thinking about your thoughts and saying, wait a minute, today I had a good day, good things happened, I appreciate the little things, I appreciate the positive things that happened. Things like that will add up and it will shape your perspective on your own life, just like how negative things can add up and make you feel depressed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm currently working on in my life.
So Chris,
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. No, that was awesome.
My name's
Seriously.
Sean Patrick, and I'm 28, and I like drinking.
You'll figure it out someday, bud. Don't worry.
No, but no, that was a good.
No, that was great to relate to what Chris was saying. Like,
that was actually good.
oh, it's like a compound effect. It's like interest. It adds up. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
as your equally as your bad behaviors add up, good behaviors also add up. Like simple. Like dude, the gym. God.
The dark side can be tempting, though, as you learned in Star Wars.
God.
I always find that it's easier for the negativity to interfere and be intrusive in your life than the positivity. But you got to just see the light through the bullshit and don't succumb to the dark side.
Hell yeah! Don't succumb to the dark
I'm
side.
gonna have to get a bigger interface. We need multiple microphones.
We're gonna get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get 100
We're in the
mics.
ear-
It's
we're
gonna
in the
be.
early
It's gonna be
stages.
like Adobe Studio in
Yeah.
here.
I just need an interface that's 4 mics instead of 2. That's all.
But that's okay.
Yeah. We'll get there.
No, but I completely and utterly agree. Like, you know, it's not easy at all. That's the point of it. It's not easy. Like but you have to do it. You have to do it for yourself. No one's coming to save you. I'll just be honest. No one is. Like, you got to do it on your own. Like, yes, you have people that are willing to help you, but no one is coming to save you. You got to do it on your own.
Right.
I can talk to you. We can all talk to you till you're blue in the face. But until you decide, until you make a definite decision, like, hey, this really sucks and I want more and better for myself, it's not going to change.
It's not.
That's the hard truth. And don't beat yourself up and feel bad about yourself if you're not doing shit. Sorry, buddy. It's not helping.
Yeah.
You're pissed. Do something about it.
Do anything.
Start moving. Focus on the step in front of you.
Right. Is that gratitude or?
It's everything. Yeah. It's gratitude. It's just focusing on just proactively working on bettering yourself, your life, you know. But yes, gratitude is a piece of it. But like when you're so fixated on the problems and not doing shit about it, just focus on one step and bettering yourself. I forgot, there was a quote somewhere, podcast book, I don't know, but I'm going to dive deep in the catalog here. The goal is to get at least 1% better every day. 1%. That's it.
Will you ever work up to 100%, or is that impossible?
No, that's the beauty in it. There's always room to grow. There's always goals, and there's always things that you can do for yourself. Like if you're at 100%, let's literally think about it. If you're at 100%, you would be bored out of your mind.
Yeah, like what else would there be?
There's nothing.
You're never going.
There was like a quote.
You don't want to be at 100%.
No, not at all. There always should be. So there's this famous speaker I like listening to. His name is Ed Milet. He coined the saying, in life you should be blissfully dissatisfied. So let me give a little context to that. Being blissful is being grateful, being like conscious of your progression and being happy, right? But also knowing that there's always room to grow and there's always goals that you have because they keep you going. They keep you alive. They give you purpose, And yeah, man, like that's something that like I've applied in my life. Like I'm happy in this moment. I'm enjoying with you. But like next year, if I'm not growing, even if it's 1% better than I did this year, I'm not at a good place. Like I got to keep striving to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the small things, whether it's me, improving on a workout or my ability to speak to people, working on eye contact, little things like
that's how I've been with my job interviews. It kind of opened up my eyes a little bit. I
was
like,
for sure.
Wait, I feel a little bit better because I have social anxiety, especially when I'm not drinking, right? So an interview puts you in that zone where you have to be completely real and like sober and yourself. Like you have to be the person who you don't always show around everyone else, which is like your true self. Like you might hide yourself. So like around the house, I'm like quiet, this, that. But when I go to interview, I have to be literally me, like my full on self, like no hiding. And it makes you realize that like it's not as hard as you think. You just have to just put yourself in that position.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I don't know. I just realized that from a few interviews because I've never had interviews. I've only ever worked with my dad. So I'm just like going through the motions. I'm just like, it makes me feel better doing this. Like it makes me feel better putting myself in that uncomfortable position. Even if it doesn't work out, it's an experience. It's like a whole
There's
situation.
Always something you can take away from it, which is awesome. Yeah,
it's a learning thing. And I told Chris the other day with the L, like when you get an L, when you lose, right? It's not lose, it's learn. You learned.
You like that?
Right?
I like that.
Blown, dude.
I like that.
So when you take an L and you put it on your forehead, it's a learn. It's not lose. It's learn.
You're connecting the dots.
It's a lesson. Yeah, it's a lesson.
Going back, you're learning.
Yeah, it's the connecting the dots thing. You're learning. You're taking an L.
Yeah,
you
dude,
learn something there.
I like that because it
instead of lose, like you're a loser. No, you're a learner.
Perfect. In life, when you make that's beautiful. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Hold up.
Where'd you hear that?
I made it up the other day.
Good stuff.
It's so beautiful, dude.
We'll let that serenade for a minute.
Fixate on the negative. Can I see that?
Yeah, please go ahead.
People, and I'm guilty of this all the time too, fixate themselves on the negative, like where they fucked up. You know, there's that Albert Einstein quote where they did the math on the chalkboard, 9 times 1, 9 times 2, 9 times 3, 9 times 4.
Oh, I saw that.
And it all added up, and then he did 9 times 9 was 82, and
they all
they all
judged him.
laughed at him.
Yeah.
And he's like, see, you guys didn't acknowledge when I got 8 out of 9 answers correct, but when I mess up on one answer, that's the one you guys all remember. So people, it's like human nature for what, maybe it's a survival mechanism deep in our roots, who knows, but you fixate on where you fucked up, and that is my biggest flaw, I think, and a lot of people's biggest flaws. But if, Sean, what you just suggested, when you take an L, maybe in a relationship, maybe you got dumped, or maybe you said something wrong to someone, or maybe you embarrassed yourself in front of people, or
Maybe
you
you
didn't
lost
take,
a sports game.
Yeah, you lost
You
the
lost.
game. You took an actual L, right?
Yeah, you took an L.
But to be optimistic, glass half full, promoting positive energy, not the negativity that we constantly feed and reciprocate to ourselves, that L is a life lesson.
Yeah,
You took a life lesson that you will learn from. You took
Yeah,
the
it's
ultimate L.
Yeah, it's the learning lesson,
The learning lesson.
essentially.
I took the L. And I can learn
Maybe
from it.
someone has said it before. I'm sure someone has, but it popped up in my head yesterday when we were going to Chipotle, and I was just like, it's not a lot. It's not you being a loser. It's you being a learner.
When
And
you
that's what
make
it is.
peace in life, permanently being a learner, your life reflection, like the way you see life, will completely change. Like when you are consciously looking for a silver lining or a lesson, like failure doesn't exist. It's just a lesson. Like it's an adjustment. Like it really is. Like, and it's hard because it is conscious thinking. Like it is replacing negative thoughts, or replacing negative fixation. It's like, hey, like instead of me searching for, I'm a screw up, like this sucks, like I'm terrible. No, it's like, where did I mess up, and how can I learn to get stronger or better? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You are a permanent learner, and it's beautiful, bro. Like, I mean, even every day you're learning more and more about music and content creation, and I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And Chris is doing the same thing, and the same thing applies to your personal development, things that work for you, things that will make your life better. Progression equals happiness, to be honest.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, and that's something that, like, we as humans we need to progress forward. Like, we need to fail forward. I'm going to bring that back because it's encouraging you to, like, get out there, try things, and mess up. But, like, as long as it's in the right direction, you're taking things from it, you're still progressing forward,
Facts.
But, guys, I think we came to a beautiful, like,
For sure.
ending.
I agree. I think the moral of the story and everything we talked about is just about, the whole, what we literally just talked about is just like what you go through in life is an experience, and it's a learning experience, you know what I mean? And through that you see gratitude, you see progression, you see not progression, you see backwards, but you always pull back forward in it.
Absolutely.
And it's just about having that mindset to get you from where you're at to get you to the next step, and just learning
100%.
and progressing forward. Do you agree, Josh?
Yeah,
Anything you wanna
I completely agree.
sum up on that thought?
Overall, focus on the step in front of you. Do your best every day to get 1% better, even when it's hard. I mean, the point of it, it's hard. It's supposed to be. But, like, you choose your pain. Either the pain of staying where you're at and life sucking for you, or you progressively get better and life gets better for you.
And you learn as you go.
Exactly. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Josh, thanks
I
for coming.
appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the podcast. Chris, do you have any final thoughts, or do you think we summed it up?
I think I just like to say that the key to a happy life is to think and grow. Positivity.
Yeah.
That's it.
Think,
Yeah.
grow, positive.
If you think small, you'll always be small. If you think big, you'll
Yep.
always grow.
Goes
and
back
you'll
to
always
that
be
TikTok.
big.
Yep.
That's it.
That's a
everyone.
wrap,
That's
guys.
a wrap.
That's a wrap.
YouTube, thanks for watching. Josh, what's your Instagram if they want to give you a follow, or your
Yeah,
socials?
of course. So my socials are JBI_imagery for Instagram, and I believe it's the same for TikTok. More content's coming soon. Thank you, and get 1% better. And looking forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Peace out, guys.
Later.